A fine start to the day, turning cloudy and wet from the west with the risk of some thunderstorms. I'll have all the details of that and more coming up on Good Morning Britain.
Last night with Lorraine. Yes, congratulations to Lorraine.
Congrats. Was the first and only person to have a standing ovation.
Was she?
Yes.
Interesting. Well, what you came into work wearing this morning. But before we do that, or 5 o'clock this morning.
All night.
That's
no,
the walk
I
of
went
shame.
to bed. My hands just don't do that. So, I had no one to help me. I had to just sleep in. This is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, Your Honour.
Love it. Main news this morning. I just want to talk to you. Date night, you stayed up and got the video of the Northern Lights.
It was amazing.
Absolutely incredible.
Yes.
I didn't get... There was no sign of the Northern... Sunday night. So, just for the weekend, and there was no...
We had this massive solar storm. I think we'll go to a little more later, but it had a massive solar... Just the sun was ruining it. So as soon as the sun set them, but annoyingly on Saturday... But yeah, it was amazing. I was out there for ages. Emotional, because you just think... This is nature. This is incredible.
So I think Laura was saying that you didn't stay up even later.
Yeah. Right, we'll catch up with and she's our winner every...
I think it was the dress.
At a reasonable time, but I can't unzip a dress without help because my...
About the Northern Lights. Oh, it might have lights. So I had a quick look at it.
No, and so... When it gets dark enough, that's when you can see the images. And it was really moving. It was really... I left at a reasonable hour, Ed. Her entire team were... And their little groupie.
Fantastic.
They were so pleased for Lorraine, dear. Congratulations to her. But yes, Richard was talking there about the Northern Lights. So people who are still hoping to see them, there is still a chance.
No, there isn't.
Susanna, don't stay up.
It was Friday, Susanna. I also waited. I was gutted. Now, Lisa even went to Iceland.
I drive into to a more urban area, a rural area to see. Wouldn't bother. You probably won't see them this time. But the problem is that the activity was high, but it was waning. So Friday night was but then the activity sort of slightly waned on Saturday night. One that we had on Friday night was 16 times the size of Earth. It was huge, and it's all of these charged particles interacting with the magnetic north and south pole that gave this huge storm. It was a G5 storm. That's the highest we can have, the strongest we've seen since 2003. And it's worth pointing out for some areas there were radio blackouts. Elon Musk was talking about his satellites up in space, saying that the wind was so strong it was potentially going to move those. And on the International Space Station, where they're not protected by the Earth's atmosphere, they go into a safe space in the middle of the space station where they're protected from these rays that which would actually be very harmful to them, and they have monitors on to make sure that they're safe for the whole time. Now, this is the forecast for tonight. You can see the probability of the Northern Lights happening peaks across the north of the UK. So the Northern Isles and for northern Scotland, there's a moderate chance of seeing them, but with clear skies. But unfortunately, it looks like it's turning increasingly cloudy. Here's the details. So thankfully, Friday night, for many of us, the skies were clear for perfect viewing. Tonight, that is not the case because it starts off fine and dry today, but then it turns cloudy and wet from the west. So first thing this morning, it's largely dry, clearest conditions through the east, but cloud and rain already lurking in the west. And so for Wales and southwest England, it turns cloudy, then it turns wet, the winds strengthen, and a warning from the Met Office for the rain that's set to turn heavy through Wales and the southwest of England. Also moving into Northern Ireland by this afternoon, and disappointingly cool here, 15 to maybe 16 degrees. But central and eastern areas of England and Scotland, the best of the sunshine and the best of the temperatures. So we're looking at 22, maybe 23 degrees as we head through the day. This evening and overnight tonight, that whole band of rain moves its way eastwards, so turning increasingly cloudy for eastern Scotland and across the north of Scotland, so spoiling the chance of seeing the Northern Lights. But activity remains high for the coming days, so there's still a chance later this week. So tomorrow starts cloudy and wet, but then brightening up from the west later. Good morning to you. We had warmth and sunshine this weekend, but it's going to be a distant memory as we head through the week because it is all change. Why? It is always down to the jet stream. The jet stream divides the cold and the warm, and in between it brings wet. So the jet stream is overhead today and it brings low pressure. It brings cloud, wind and rain from the west, and it stays close by all week long. Here's how it looks for today. We have a weather front in the west that moves in, but central and eastern areas are largely fine, dry and bright. So this is the latest satellite and radar image. Clearest conditions through eastern areas, but here comes the rain in the west. So southwest England and Wales dry at the moment, the cloud moving in, and then rain moves this morning. So southwest England and Wales turns wet, then the winds start to freshen, and then the rain moves into Northern Ireland. Clouds for central England, clouds for northern England later, and for the southwest of Scotland. but central Scotland, eastern Scotland and eastern areas of England with the best of the sunshine today and the best of the temperatures. This weekend in the sunshine, we got into the mid to high 20s with the blue skies. Today we're looking at 23, maybe 24 degrees Celsius, but the cloud and rain really makes a difference to those temperatures. We're looking at 15, maybe 16 degrees at best. How do things pan out as we head through the next 7 days? Well, let's take